Everyone thought Shedeur Sanders was done, but what happened inside the Browns facility will change everything.
Starter in Cleveland coming out of this thing.
Absolutely. I wouldn't bring anybody else into that room. I would not include Deshaun Watson in this quarterback competition. I think it's a waste of time for everybody as far as what the Browns are trying to build. I also think it's chasing after justifying that decision and trying to make it look better than it actually was. It was the worst trade in NFL history. For Shedeur, I think it should be Dillon Gabriel versus Shedeur in camp. Shedeur wins that competition 100 times out of 100. He has a higher ceiling. He showed better film last year. I just feel like, listen, maybe he's not your franchise guy for the next 10 years, but in 2026, let's see what he can do. I'm going with Shedeur. Give him a tryout, give him a long runway, give him that confidence with that playmaking ability and that confidence that Monken describes.
Imagine this. You get drafted 144th overall, dead last among quarterbacks. Nobody's calling your name in the first round. Nobody's calling your name in the second, not the third, not the fourth. You sit there round after round, watching guys go ahead of you. And when the Browns finally pick up the phone, you get 0 first-team reps in training camp. 0. Meanwhile, the guy standing between you and the starting job, he's got a $230 million fully guaranteed contract. 3 first-round picks were traded away just to get him here. The city of Cleveland handed him everything, and he gave them 19 games over 4 years. 19 games. And yet, here we are. In April of 2026, the Cleveland Browns are treating Shedeur Sanders like he is the guy. Not Watson, not Gabriel, Shedeur. So how did a 5th-round pick that nobody wanted end up winning the most controversial quarterback competition in NFL history? That's what we're breaking down today. Stay with me, because this story is wild.
Going into the 2026 season, their quarterback competition is Deshaun Watson, Shedeur Sanders, and Dillon Gabriel. And it might be the saddest QB battle in NFL history. Watson hasn't played a single game since October of 2024. He retore his Achilles, missed all of last season, and he's only played in 19 games in 3 years. And he was terrible even before the Achilles injury. Okay, what about Shedeur Sanders? Well, among 43 quarterbacks with at least 150 dropbacks last season, Sanders ranked 42nd in touchdown to interception ratio, 42nd in passer rating, and had the 5th worst QBR in NFL history. Last season, the Browns started Joe Flacco, Dillon Gabriel, and Shedeur Sanders, and the 40-year-old Joe Flacco was the best out of the 3. Dillon Gabriel got concussed in week 11 and then benched for a 5th-round pick. The Browns have the 6th overall pick, but this QB class is weak, not high enough for a franchise guy. They've been linked to CJ Stroud, Kyler Murray, and Anthony Richardson, but how do you trade for any of them when Watson's cap hit is $80 million? And the saddest part of all is Myles Garrett just broke the all-time single-season sack record with 23 sacks. He won the Defensive Player of the Year award for the 2nd time, and he's already told the world tanking or rebuilding is not for him. He wants a Super Bowl, but can this quarterback room get there? Nope. Not a chance. If this is your first time watching my videos, make sure you're followed, because otherwise you'll never see one of my videos
Look
again.
Towards that. Listen, if Sanders walks in as quarterback one of this competition, it's not because of how he played last year. We need to be very clear about this. This was a historically bad rookie quarterback season. 64th out of 70 paper dropback. He threw an interception on 4% of his pass attempts, right? This is a historically bad rookie season. Now, he's a 5th-round pick. The Browns are a terrible team, and so it's understandable, but Sanders did not earn his way into a competition here. It is just the function of the Browns quarterback room being as weak as it is. That's why this job is open. It's because we need somebody to emerge from a group of really not attractive options.
Let's go back to the beginning, because context matters here. Shedeur Sanders was one of the most talked about quarterback prospects coming out of college football. Son of Deion Sanders, starter at Colorado, highlight reel arm, the kind of player who makes NFL scouts lean forward in their seats. But the NFL draft is cold business, and teams had concerns. He took too many sacks in college. He wasn't in a pro-style offense. He was Deion's son, and people questioned whether he had the hunger. So round 1 passed, round 2, round 3, round 4, and when the Cleveland Browns selected him in the 5th round at pick 144, it felt less like a vote of confidence and more like an afterthought. The message from Cleveland was clear. You are not our answer. You are a project. Get in line. In the line, it had Dillon Gabriel in front of him, a fellow rookie, 3rd-round pick, who got the first-team reps in training camp that Shedeur never received. coaches handed Gabriel the keys first. Shedeur watched, waited, took mental reps, and worked. That is the kind of disrespect that either breaks a man or builds one. Week 11, 2025 season. Baltimore Ravens. Dillon Gabriel takes a shot, goes down with a concussion, and the Cleveland Browns, a team that had done everything to keep Shedeur Sanders away from the spotlight, had no choice. They called his number. His debut was rough, let's be honest. The Ravens' defense was suffocating. He threw for only 47 yards. There was an interception. The stat line looked ugly. But here's what the numbers didn't show. He stood in the pocket. He took the hits. He didn't fold. For a kid who had been told he wasn't ready, who had been given nothing, he walked into one of the toughest stadiums in the NFL, and he competed. And then the weeks that followed, something shifted. Shedeur Sanders started 7 games that season. He threw for 1,400 yards, 7 touchdowns, and yes, 10 interceptions on a bad team with no protection and no real runway. His passer rating wasn't pretty, but the coaches saw something, the teammates saw something, and the analysts, they started paying attention. He even earned a Pro Bowl invitation as an alternate, a 5th-round pick, a Pro Bowl invite, on a team that went 5-12. That doesn't happen by accident.
Cleveland, take a listen.
I think you see playmaking ability. I think you see a player that is confident in his skill set. So when you see that playmaking ability and inner confidence, you say, okay, there's something to work with there. So that, I think that's the thing that excites you. What you see on tape are those aspects. A very young player that really didn't grow up in a pro-style offense. It's not his fault. It's our job is to develop all the players that show up in the building and try to get the best out of all of them.
Now here's where it gets really interesting. New Browns head coach Todd Monken sat down at the NFL League meetings and was asked directly about Shedeur Sanders, and what he said stopped people in their tracks. He talked about playmaking ability. He talked about inner confidence. He said, and I'm paraphrasing here, that when you see a player who believes in himself that deeply, who makes plays under pressure, you say to yourself, okay, there's something to work with there. Monken also acknowledged that Shedeur never grew up in a pro-style offense. That's not a knock, that's a coaching challenge. And Monken's exact words were, "It's our job to develop all the players that show up in the building and try to get the best out of all of them." That is a head coach talking about building a quarterback, not auditing one, not managing one, building one. And there's something else worth noting. When the Browns' offseason program kicked off, Shedeur Sanders was already in the facility, working with receivers, building chemistry, getting reps. Dillon Gabriel, not there yet. And Deshaun Watson, he was present, but the story wasn't about him. Then the Browns' social media team posted 4 Instagram stories from day 1 of workouts. Shedeur appeared in 3 of them, including his own entrance video. Watson and Gabriel, not pictured once. The caption on one post read, S2 ready for year 2. That wasn't an accident. Organizations don't post by accident. Someone made a choice, and that choice told you everything. The sports media world is not staying quiet on this one. ESPN analyst Kevin Clark, who sat down personally with Todd Monken, came out and said it flat. Shedeur Sanders should be the starter. No hesitation. He went further, saying he wouldn't even include Deshaun Watson in this competition. In his words, and these are powerful words, it's a waste of time for everybody as far as what the Browns are trying to build. He called the Watson trade the worst trade in NFL history. The worst. Not just bad, the worst. ESPN's Louis Riddick, one of the most respected football minds in broadcasting, said Shedeur should absolutely be in pole position heading into training camp, but that he'll have to earn it every single day. Master the offense, play on time, protect the football, earn the trust of teammates and coaches. Harry Douglas, former NFL wide receiver, said something that really hits. The fact that Todd Monken wanted Shedeur when Monken was with the Baltimore Ravens, that means this isn't just a body filling a room. There is a real belief in this kid from the head coach. And ESPN's Tim Hasselbeck put it most bluntly of all. He looked at Watson's situation, 2 torn Achilles, away from the game since October 2024, 536 days off the field, and said, "I really don't think Watson has a shot." 536 days. That's not a setback. That's a completely different life.
I think he has to really master Todd Monken's offense, and that means playing on time, making great decisions, protecting the football, and having the offense look from a fundamental perspective the way Todd wants it to look. And look, that's just the reality of it. And I understand that now you're learning another system, another new system. You're going to be going up against a guy who is a veteran in Deshaun Watson, who some people have high expectations of. But I think for him, it's about making sure he masters this offense to the best of his ability. That's really the only thing he can control.
So what does Shedeur Sanders actually need to do to lock this job down for good? Number 1, master Todd Monken's offense. This isn't the spread system he ran at Colorado. This is NFL-level precision football. Playing on time, reading defenses pre-snap, protecting the ball, and making smart decisions under pressure. The coaches are watching every single rep. Number 2, earn the locker room. Your teammates have to believe in you before the fans do. The offensive line has to want to play for you. The receivers have to trust that the ball is coming. Leadership isn't given, it's built, rep by rep, day by day, in a building most fans never see. Number 3, stay confident. This is the one people forget. The NFL is designed to break young quarterbacks. Bad games happen, turnovers happen, the crowd turns, the media turns, the pressure gets real. Shedeur Sanders has shown he can handle disrespect. He's been handling it his entire life. Now he has to show he can handle success and expectation. And the reality? The Browns are in rebuild mode. This is the perfect environment for a young quarterback to grow. The pressure is lower than it would be in New York or Dallas. The fan base is hungry for something to believe in. And Shedeur, if given the full runway, the full reps, and the full support of this coaching staff, has every ingredient to become exactly what Cleveland has been desperately searching for. Not just for 1 year, but for the next decade. Here's the truth about Shedeur Sanders that people keep missing. He didn't get a first-round contract. He didn't get a red carpet. He didn't get the benefit of the doubt that Watson received for years. What he got was a chance. A small, late, barely there chance in the 5th round of an NFL draft that had largely written him off. And with that chance, he showed up. He competed. He earned a Pro Bowl nod on a 5-12 team. He walked into the Browns facility in April of 2026, and the organization posted 3 Instagram stories about him on day 1. That is not luck. That is not nepotism. That is a young man who refused to let his circumstances define his ceiling. Watson got $230 million, 3 first-round picks, and 19 games. Shedeur got nothing, and he's still winning. Cleveland, it's time to give this kid the keys, for real this time. If this video fired you up, if you believe in Shedeur Sanders, and you want to see what happens next in Cleveland this season, then hit that subscribe button right now. We are covering every single move the Browns make, every rep in training camp, every twist in this quarterback battle all the way to week 1. Don't miss it. Tap subscribe. Drop a comment below. Do you think Shedeur wins this job? Let's talk about it. I'll see you in the next one.